My name is Keith. Please, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's grow together. I am your humble hermetic, here to bring you knowledge, information, and hopefully at the least some entertainment, some vibes, some resonance, some frequency, something to help you grow, help me grow, help you grow. We're in this together, right, baby? Read. Alright, so I get it. We want to be positive all the time, and it's a more enjoyable life for the most part, to be positive for the most part. But being only ever positive is not going to give us the things we want. It's not going to allow us to ascend. It's not going to allow us to grow the business that we want, to overcome certain character traits that we don't like, or to step into new character traits that we really want. Only being positive is not going to do that. And we know that. We know that because there must be balance. Right? You can't have light without dark. You can't have happy without sad. You cannot be courageous when there is no fear present. You can't. Courage can't exist unless there's something to be courageous about, which means there must be fear involved for courage to happen. So if you want to, ascend or attract, law of attraction or manifestation or frequencies, vibration, all this shit, if you want to be as successful as possible in this realm, you can't just focus on the positive. But there's something, this is what you do instead. One, you acknowledge the negative, right? Because don't fall into the new age trap, don't fall into the spiritual trap, don't fall into the clickbaity sort of trigger word trap of only focus on the good. It's like taking one step forward and one step back. Right? You end up in the same spot as you started. Instead, this is how we use our imagination. This is how we use and apply the skills of Hermeticism to get what we want. We see a situation. In every situation, there is a bad, you guys. 100%. Don't fall for the shit. Don't fall for the, there's no such thing as bad. Or wherever it doesn't matter where you are, you're where you need to be. Like these generic statements that make you feel good for the time, but it's just a band-aid to the real underlying issue. There is bad things going on. Or there are bad things going on. There are good things going on. There's a big scale of unknowing whether something's good or not, and then there's a small scale for knowing what's good or not. For example, let me give you an example. I'm growing this channel to hit 100,000 subscribers. Okay, so that means now that I have a goal, first and foremost, we have to set a goal. Now I know what I'm aiming for. Okay, I can always change the goal, and the goal might be the wrong one, but who cares? First and foremost, I have to have a goal. Now, because I have a direction, a star to aim at, every decision I make, I can engage against that star, against that goal. Hey, I'm not going to post videos for the next month. Is that going to help me get to 100,000 subscribers? Absolutely not. So objectively speaking, it is a bad idea to not post videos. And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So when someone looks at you and they say there's no such thing as a bad, there's no bad things. And if you're in a shitty place, it's not a shitty place. You're where you're at. Wherever you are is where you need to be. Like, fuck that, dude. Come on. Like, let's be real. We're not children. This isn't story time. Like, we are real humans with real problems, with real things that we want to overcome, with real goals that we want to hit, with new habits that we want to develop, with new personalities and character traits that we want to, project into the world, with gaining all the love and all the wisdom along the way. So don't give me that shit about, there's no such thing as a bad choice, because there are. Again, I just told you, in every situation, there is an objectively speaking good and bad thing to make. So to only ever focus on the positive, like the negative doesn't exist, is an absolutely terrible idea for someone on this path. If you're, 90 to 95% of the population, then you could say something like that, and they would live a happy life, more or less, sort of mediocrely happy life, more or less. Maybe they might have an epiphany later on in life and realize, you know what, I've been fucking up. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll die in that sort of mediocre, pacified happiness, which is fine for those people, and maybe even better for those people. Maybe ignorance is bliss in that case, because they lived their life satiated for the most part and died satiated for the most part. Good for them. Fucking I envy those people sometimes. But like we learn in the Kabbalion, actually, it's best not to start, it says. A journey like this is best not to start. However, once started, it's best to finish. And you and I have already started. If you're watching this video, trust, you and I have already started. Trust, it's best that you and I finish. So, with that being said, we must acknowledge the shit. We must give credence to the bad things, to things that we don't want. We need to acknowledge the objective bad, because it's nice to have not only a star to aim for, but a star not to aim for. You know what I mean? It's good to say, I want 100,000 subscribers. Why? Okay, so we're talking about our star. Why? Well, because it gives me more autonomy over my life. If I can have 100,000 subscribers, that means I gotta do this. I gotta learn by candlelight for the rest of my life. I gotta do things like you're watching right now, which is and I gotta learn, and I gotta do it anywhere in the world. I could leave to Oman tomorrow, take the fam, and go visit the frankincense forests of the Middle East. You know, that's the kind. So it's like, that's the star I'm aiming for. It's like, okay, but I don't only want to focus on that. What's the opposite? The opposite. This is me lending attention to the negative, to the dark side, not only focusing on the positive. Okay, what's the star that I don't want to aim at? Well, it's the star that I have to live paycheck to paycheck. My schedule is dictated for me, not by me. That means when I get to see my family, when I get to go on trips, when I get to spend time with my son, when I get to have a spontaneous moment of waking up at sunrise and not being able to go to sleep, so if I want to drive into the mountains and get my Zen on, that choice is no longer dictated by me, right? This is the negative star. If I'm working for someone else, my life, a third of my life and half of my waking life, the schedule is dictated by someone else. And even in the time off that I don't have, if I'm working a 9 to 5, Sundays I gotta be chill because I have work on Monday. Every night I have to be chill because I have work the following day, right? So not only is half my life where I'm at the 9 to 5 dictated by someone else, but even the time off is dictated by someone else. So that's the dark star. So if there's a wall, so say we're looking at the wall. This mushroom, something we're not aiming at. This mushroom is something we are aiming at. So I can go, okay, cool. I'm not only focusing on the good one because, why? Why only focus on half the picture? Let's put some focus on the good one, and let's put some acknowledgement on the bad one. Right? Notice I'm not dwelling on the bad. I'm not making it. I'm not. I sometimes am making decisions off the bat. Because how some people will say, well, we shouldn't make decisions based off of fear because it's one of those generic statements that people like to say in the world that we live in. And there's some truth to it. You shouldn't have your life dictated by choices made off of fear, but a little fear is healthy. Call me crazy. Call me old school. Call me old age spirituality instead of, but you know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. I'll wear that one. I'll burden that one for you guys and let you know how it works. So far, it's been working wonderfully. Because it's like, what happens is you have the good and you have the bad. They're related to each other. They're both of importance. And then with this new technique that I'm teaching you guys, we have a third perspective that's sort of outside of the, that sort of linear time-space continuum of the good and bad. So I can see them both. And it's really good. It's really good to have both both frames in your consciousness held at the same time. It's like you're no longer in the maze trying to figure out which way to go. You're above the maze looking down. You're seeing it all simultaneously. You got that eagle eye view. I feel like I can make better decisions when I have more information at hand. And the dark side, the negative, the bad, is more information at my disposal. So why I'd be a fool not to acknowledge it. I would be a goddamn fool to only focus on the good and not acknowledge the bad. In fact, I have been a fool. And I will probably be a fool in the future, because life is tricky, man. It manipulates and it's malleable and it changes from time to time. It's like taking a math test. Your teacher teaches you all the different variations of a math problem, and then you nail them all. And then it gives you the test, and you go, what the fuck is this? I haven't gone over this one time. And life goes, I know, but I've given you the skills to figure this out, but you need to apply some applied techniques. You need to apply some creativity. You need to take what you've learned in the past and use your imagination, use your creativity to apply it to a new problem. And that's what life does. It's always evolving. We're always going to have problems. We're never going to, every step but furthers the journey. As the Emerald Tablet says, every step taken only heightens the mountain of knowledge, of ascension, as the Emerald Tablet says. You know what I mean? Thank God that we can, change and grow throughout time, and that we're not stuck the same for eternity. Thank God that that's the way. It's just we need to be a little more hip to the different ways one can do it. And we need to be a little more hip to these sort of generic feel-good phrases of spirituality that... I get it. It's a start. I would rather people say something along the lines of only focus on the positive, man. It's a phenomenal first step. Hell, it's where I started. And look at me now, Ma. You know what I'm saying? Look at me now. We're killing it. So, it's a great place to start. As most sort of axioms of spirituality. Most axioms of spirituality, like always focus on the positive, like attracts like, thoughts become reality. Most of these sort of axioms, these memes, these underlying sort of realities of what we study, most of them, they're half-truths. There you go. Again, straight out of the Hermetics. All truths are but half-truths. You know what I mean? Because they have a polarity to them, because they have a light side and a dark side to them. And to get the truth with the capital T, we can't only focus on one half of the truth. We need the truth is. That's the Sorry if that was a tangent. I don't want to confuse you guys. Because while there is an objective good and bad to a situation, I don't want to discredit the subjective. For example, you could say, maybe it was actually a bad thing that Hitler lost the war. Yeah, a lot more people would have died. It would have been a global dictatorship. But who's to say that, Hitler's great-great-grandchild would have saw the error in Hitler's ways, used the technology of the Germans to completely flip the world around, and 500 years from now, the planet Earth is 1,000 times better than planet Earth had Hitler had lost the war. You see what I'm saying? So with that sort of abstract train of thought, you could realistically, practically, genuinely say, yeah, maybe it was a bad thing that Hitler lost the war, because who knows, maybe the world would have been better by some weird string of events if he would have won as compared to him losing. Hitler loses, yeah, it's good for the time, but bad. See what I'm saying? So that's the argument that people want to make when they say, there's no such thing as good or bad. And I get that, and I understand that, and they're right. But such is the paradox of life. the subjective and the objective truth both exist simultaneously, but we can't fucking live that way, you guys. That way is sure, it's cool for philosophical sort of brain games if you want to be cute about it and facetious about it and play devil's advocate about it. Like, we can do that shit till the cows come home. It's my favorite. I will happily join you in that conversation. But when we're talking about manifesting and you know, you want to learn some shit like astral projecting, or you want to learn how to lucid dream every night, or you have some detrimental character flaw that's fucking ruining your life and is just terrorizing yourself and the people around you, and it's ruining your future, and it's ruining your past and your present, and you're, you know, contemplating suicide or killing people even. Like, people get dark, man. The world is dark. The world can get dark as fuck, but it can be helped. This video might be running out of time. We might have to end it there. Hold on. Thank you guys for being here. If this video ends.